Today in this video, I'm going to be going ahead and showing you guys the best cars for every single race in Vehicle Legends as of 2025. As many of you guys may know, in Vehicle Legends, a lot of things have changed. And in 2025, there's a lot of different vehicles. A lot of vehicles got removed. Alright, let's go ahead and head to the races. So we're here right now. And also, you have to keep in mind that I'm not including the boost truck because I think it's pretty much unfair. So if I included that, I feel like not a lot of people could get that and it wouldn't be really fair. So I'm not going to include the boost truck in this video, but it is technically one of the fastest trucks vehicles in the game, which is pretty good for all of the races except a few. So the first race we got is the drag race. So the best car I would say for this race is one car in specific, and actually this is multiple, but this type of car is electric cars. I feel like a lot of electric cars are pretty good for the drag race, and the electric car that I actually picked is, if I go right here, I picked the Rimac Nevera for this race just because of how quickly it could go and finish this race in. And another thing to keep in mind is that you guys need to go ahead and max out the car and also have drag tires, because for the drag race especially, if you have drag tires, it makes you go super fast. So you guys will see how fast I finished this race in. So pretty fast. Okay, let's see, 5.86, pretty good. And if I had different tires like drift tires or anything like that, it would have lowered my time in this race. So make sure to have drag tires for this race. All right, the next race we got is the highway race. I feel like most of you guys may know it's the boost truck for this race, but I told you guys that doesn't count. So the best car I would say for this race is this one right here. So this is actually a fake Lamborghini. The stats of each car will be on the screen right here. So right here, this is the Lamborghini Gran Turismo or something, $20 million, one of the most expensive vehicles in the game, actually the second most expensive, but I put it in this list because it's the fastest in highway race, especially because of its like really good top speed. Obviously not including the boost truck because that would probably win in this race, but right here I would say this is the fastest. You guys can see how fast it's going, 400 miles per hour, very fast, very fast. All right, let's go ahead and finish this race in. All right, we finished in 22.86. all right guys, the next race we got is the around the map race. I feel like a lot of people do this race and they might not know the best cars, so I would say for this race it probably is between the Bugatti Bolide or this car right here, which is the Rimac Nevera. This is the best car for drag, and I would say for around the map race. I mean, a lot of people might say otherwise, but I feel like since it is electric and the top speed isn't that bad actually, so I would say this is one of the best cars for this race. It's kind of hard to control after this Vehicle Legends drifting update. Like you guys could see, oh my god, did I just miss that checkpoint? Oh no, I didn't. Okay, a lot of times you might crash because the car might not be like turning or anything like that, so it is pretty hard, but I would say this has to be one of the best cars for this race, and I just crashed. God damn it, are you freaking serious? All right, let's go ahead and see if we can finish this race peacefully and not crash anymore. For this car especially, if you do crash, I feel like since it is electric, I feel like you guys could go from like 0 to whatever the top speed is, however fast the car is, very fast because it is electric. And with other cars like the Bugatti Bolide, it's probably going to take a few seconds before it reaches like a good top speed, a good amount of like speed before it could like maybe like finish the race or anything like that. So I would say this is still one of the best cars. You guys could disagree, agree, but I've gotten like 53, maybe like 51 seconds with this car, and one time I even got like 48 or 49. So it is one of the best cars for the around the map race. But if you guys do say it's like the Bugatti Bolide, I would say maybe it is true, because that is a very good car, especially because of the top speed. It goes like 400 miles per hour almost. I think it's like 361 miles per hour, so 361 miles per hour is very fast compared to this car right here. It's like 290 or something. All right, the next race we got is this one right here. So we got the circuit race. A lot of people might say otherwise, but I feel like this car right here has to be one of the best cars. The stats will be obviously on the screen, just like the stats were shown for the other cars. So right here we got a Porsche. This is the best handling car in the game currently. There used to be another car, which is the McLaren P1. I'm gonna go ahead and do this race with that car after this, but I would say this is still the best because it's the best handling. I feel like it's a lot easier to control than the McLaren P1. I would still say the McLaren P1, for me at least, I would still prefer to use that car because of how it looks, and like now it's licensed, so it looks pretty cool. And also another con about that car is that you actually have to pay Robux for it. So let's say you wanted to drive that car for this race, the only problem will be that it's like I think 500 or 400 Robux, so you actually have to spend money out of your pocket to buy that car. An affordable alternative option is this one right here. This is 6.2 million, I'm pretty sure. This is the Porsche, right? Best handling car. You guys can go ahead and get this for completely free. Obviously with this car it's gonna take time if you don't have the money, but it's better than like spending actual money. So yeah, it really depends on your preference. Whatever car you guys want, you guys could go ahead and decide. But you guys can see we got 63.83. Not a bad time, but you guys could obviously get better times. I was just like talking and like not really taking the race seriously. But now we're gonna go ahead and do this race with my McLaren P1. We're gonna go ahead and see what time could I get with the P1. The goal is to get like under 60, but let's see if I could do it. All right, I don't really know if that's a really good time, but we got 63.70, basically the same time as the Porsche right here. So we got 63. Actually, we did like 0.10 seconds better. So I guess this is better technically, but not really, because I mean, you have to pay Robux for this, so not a good option if you guys don't have the Robux. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the race area, and the next race we got actually is the desert race. So the car I would say you guys should use for this race is still again the EV Rapid, the Rimac Navara, because this car is just so good. It's electric. It could do any race in a very short amount of time because of like how fast it is, and obviously it's electric, so the acceleration from 0 to 60, it's going to be very quick. Like that was like less than 2 seconds and you reach like super fast speed. Okay, this is what you have to be careful for, because if you're turning, it's kind of hard, so you have to use your handbrake. But other than that, I feel like this car is really good for these type of races. So like when I'm turning in these corners, I have to use my handbrake, and we didn't do a really good time. I got like 19 or 20 seconds like 5-6 minutes ago with this car, but in the beginning it was kind of rough. So yeah, we still got 23, which is not a bad time. But also, if you guys don't want to buy or just don't want to do the desert race with the Rimac, you guys could also do it with the Bugatti Bolide, because I tested this car in that car and they're very similar in times. Probably if it was like between the Rimac and the Bolide, I would still say the Rimac would win because of how fast it is. Due to it being like electric, it's gonna like overtake the Bolide, and if the Bolide messes up or anything like that, it's going to be bad for that. But you guys could go ahead and decide for yourself, but I would still recommend you guys going for the EV Rapid Rimac Navara over the Bugatti Bolide. All right, the next race we got is the Block Seawood Circuit race. So this is very long, and I would say for this race it's mainly focused on like what's it called, like a top speed car. And I would say you guys could go ahead and use the highway car, which is like the Lamborghini. I would say use that car for this race. I feel like it's gonna be a very good car, but you guys could also use like the EV Rapid or the Bugatti Bolide, but I would just say just use this car, because for this race you guys just need to go fast and finish the race. I mean, don't crash like me, bro. Like you have to like completely like do this for maybe like a few times, or even like whatever, or even for like a bit long to actually get used to this, because this race is like so many corners and turns, and if you actually want to get good at this race, you actually have to do it many times so you get used to it, and with the car that you want to do this race. So if I'm using this Lamborghini right here, this $20 million car, I have to do this race a lot with this car so I could get used to it. But so far I guess it's going pretty good, other than the few times I crashed into the walls that like kind of slowed my time, but other than that I feel like it's pretty good. And also another thing about this car is that you might not be able to use this car for some people, because the turning radius is pretty hard, but I feel like if you use your handbrake you should be good. But let's see what time we got. Okay, we got 76.81, not a bad time, but just like I said, you guys could use the Bolide or the EV Rapid, the Rimac, for this race. All right, the next race we got is actually right here. So this is the off-roading race, and another thing about this race is that right here, off-roading vehicles only. So I would say the best off-roading vehicle is this bike actually. So technically this is not really a car, but you guys see like it only accepts like off-roading vehicles, and this is the fastest off-roading vehicle for this race. So go ahead and get yourself this bike right here. The stats will be on the screen. Like I said, you guys could see how fast this is. Let me quickly go ahead and do one lap to show you guys, but I feel like this bike is pretty good for this race, especially because it's pretty fast. It goes like 200 miles per hour after you max it out. Overall the handling is also pretty good. It doesn't like, the turning radius isn't that bad. You guys could probably finish this race in a good amount of time without like crashing or anything like that with this bike. So let me see how fast it could take me to finish this. So not a good time, but I got roughly 25 seconds with this, so you guys could definitely use this for the off-roading race. It's not a bad choice. All right, the next off-roading race technically is the Tropical Dash. For this race, same problem, off-road vehicles only, and the best off-roading vehicle I would say is this one right here. You guys could also use the Tropical Truck or something, Trophy Truck or something, but I would still recommend you guys using this. But the only problem with this is that it's kind of stiff. Like if I were to brake right here, it's going to be very bad. So you guys can see like it churns really bad, and I don't want that to happen. So yeah, and with this race you guys have to go around these corners, like dodge the obstacles I guess. And it looks like we got 16.40, not a bad time for this race. And the last race we got is the Beach Dash right here, and same thing again, you guys could go ahead and use the Rimac Navara for this race. I feel like electric cars for these type of short races like drag race and like beach dash and stuff like that. I feel like this is a pretty good car, but you guys could also use like other electric vehicles like the Lotus Evija that's actually licensed, if you guys didn't know. The Tesla Roadster, I would say, but the thing is, it's like off sale, so if you guys wanted to use that, you guys can't really do it because it's like you can't buy it. So yeah, and we got 11.78. All right, those were all of the best cars for the races, but now we also got 2 more races, so we will have to go in the water and in the air. So for those races, I'll show you guys right now. Go ahead and go to the boat shop. You guys can see that green circle. Go ahead and go in the water with your car, I guess. And right here we got the boat race, so all of the boats are allowed to be in this race, and I would say the best boat is the race boat. You guys can go ahead and buy this right here. The stats will be on the screen, and this goes about 180 if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna go ahead and see how fast this is. Let me see if I have this maxed out. I'm pretty sure I do. No, I don't actually, so let me go ahead and max this out. You guys can see 179. Okay, so not 180. And one thing about this race is that this race actually has the old checkpoints. If you guys didn't know, or if you guys are an OG of Vehicle Legends, you guys would know that these were actually the OG checkpoints for all the races, but now there's like different checkpoints for other races except this one. So this one's still the same, but let's go ahead and see what time we could finish this race. And we just hit this for some reason. Like the end of this like jumpy thing kind of slowed us down, but let's go ahead and see what time we could get in this race. All right, just like that, we got 42.93. Not a bad time, not a bad time. Right here. So in the desert, there's one more race. Not a lot of people do this, I would say, but I'm just gonna still show you guys. So for this race, there's 2 options. This goes back to my point where like I didn't want to use the boost truck because it was kind of unfair. So technically for this race, the best plane, jet, whatever you want to call it, is actually the $10 million Sprinter jet, fighter jet. You guys could see, you guys could go ahead and do the race with this. But the thing is, this might not be like very accessible for all players. So the second best option is this one right here, the deluxe plane or jet, Gelexo jet. This is like only 1.4 million, so not the most expensive plane, but you guys could still see that it's very fast for this race. You guys could definitely finish this race in a very good amount of time. So I would say for the air race, this might be the best airplane for that. All right, let me go ahead and finish this. Alright, and just like that, 29.38. Alright, and that was pretty much it for this video. I showed you guys the best cars for every single race, best bikes, best airplanes, whatever. Comment down below what you guys think of this. You guys disagree any of the races, the cars that I picked for it? Like, you guys think I should have did something else, another car for that race, or what? Comment down below what you guys think. But that's going to be pretty much it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get to 23,000 subscribers. But other than that, I'm out.